I mean, if you have one,
Yeah, we do.
if you have one, why not? Yeah.
We went
Thank
live.
you. What's that?
We went live.
Okay, good. Yeah, he hasn't started it yet. Once he starts it, he sends it. Yeah. Assalamu alaikum. How are you? Oh, thank you. Allah barak fik. Thank you. Thank you very much. All right. Are you ready? Yeah? Okay. Assalamu alaikum, everybody. Thank you for coming, spending your Saturday night with us. Assalamu alaikum and Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. We haven't done a workshop in a while. It's been like almost a year. SubhanAllah, we had one planned right before Gaza, October happened, and so got canceled, and life happened. So happy to be back, alhamdulillah. So today's topic is emotions, everything about emotions. It's going to be, we could talk about emotions for many, many sessions. So today is just a very brief introduction. We'll go around an hour, 15 minutes, right until Maghrib time. Inshallah, we'll leave some time for questions. But if you have questions during, please raise your hand and, ask anything on your mind. So I'm gonna get started with a question. So if anybody wants to share and participate, please do. But when I say the word emotions, feelings, do you have a definition? What do you think about? If you were to define it to a child or somebody who doesn't speak the language, maybe, what would you say? How would you explain it? Yeah, it's going to be on the slides. A really good job. He said he'll take them to watch Inside Out, which is the new movie, or there's a new movie about emotions. Really good, yes. Well, how would you describe it if you can't take them to a movie? How you feel, yeah? Anybody else? It's okay to feel like this, yeah? Okay, so you validate it. Well, how would you describe it? If they don't know what an emotion word means, do you have any description? And if you're struggling, it's really hard to describe feelings, because then you say, well, what you're feeling. Okay, but what does that mean? It's a reaction, yeah. I thought you were going to say that. Okay, good. Exactly. So it's a reaction, and usually we call them a psychological reaction, and it also includes physical. So it includes physical reaction, it's a psychological reaction, sometimes it's a spiritual reaction. So it's all of these things that maybe we can't touch. And it's a state of being. So it's just how you are in that moment, right now, let's say, what you're experiencing, how you're feeling, your body, your mind, all of that is tied to your emotions. So, but it is really hard to define. And so what's another state of being? If we're not talking about emotions, any state of being that maybe you're in today. We're all in this state of being every day. When you haven't eaten for a long time. Tired, yes? Hungry. Exactly. So we have so many states of being every day. It's not just about feelings, it can be anything at all. So if you're hungry, what do? You eat, right? And if you're tired, go to sleep, take a nap, whatever, right? So what do you do when you're feeling something? You have a reaction, yeah? So you do something, usually we do something. And so today is gonna be just talking about what emotions are, but also what do we do? Usually, a lot of us don't know what to do. And that's why we have a hard time with our feelings and our emotions. But help you survive. How does it help you live your life every day? You're not risky, yeah? Take precautions, huh? Exactly. So you avoid these things that are dangerous. So back in the day, subhanAllah, they lived in caves, they lived out in the desert, they lived out in places, they didn't have security systems and buildings and things like that. So things that made them scared could actually kill them. So it's a lion, it's a bear, whatever. And so if you're not feeling scared, you're like, oh, yeah, the bear's not going to kill me. Okay, you're going to die, right? Most likely. These days, most of us are not dealing with things that are going to kill us, but we have the same exact feeling of fear if something scary happens or if we're feeling danger. If I hear a noise in the house and nobody should be there except me, I'm going to feel afraid. Or if a car swerves into my lane, out of nowhere and I'm driving, I'm going to feel afraid. Same thing with every other of these basic feelings. How does anger keep you and help you? And this was tough because people often think anger is not helpful. Yeah, like how? Yeah, right. So if I'm angry about what's happening in Gaza or anywhere else in the world, I'm going to do something. I'm going to try to do something, whether that's dua or donation or whatever. Exactly. Same thing with injustice. Any injustice, like if it's a spouse, domestic abuse situation, and I don't feel angry, I feel optimistic, which is under happy. So if you look at it, this happy goes under all of these, and so optimistic is right here. And then if you go more specific, you can go to hopeful and feeling inspired, etc. So when do I feel optimistic? When I believe, right? So I have to think, no, inshallah, things will be okay. Yeah, I have a belief in something good. So when am I going to feel lonely? When I'm alone? So some people say you don't have to be alone to feel lonely. You can feel lonely around other people. Right, so no one's getting me. No one here gets it. I'm all alone, etc. Yeah, so I have to think a certain way. No one is getting me. I'm all alone. Even though maybe I'm surrounded by people who can totally get me and help me, I'm not trying. And so I can feel lonely. What about disappointed, which is under disgusted? How do I feel disappointed? Yeah. Sometimes you expect too much of people, and so you feel disappointed, right? Oh, this is so unfair. No, it shouldn't happen, right? Which sometimes it's valid. Sometimes you have the right to think that. But sometimes we don't think that. And we're like, okay, it is what it is, inshallah khair, right? And so all of these feelings, the idea is that if you think about a situation in a certain way, you're going to feel those things, but maybe you will never feel. Right. Mm-hmm.
Family,
right. Mm-hmm.
Family members.
Yeah. Right. Good.
So you lower your expectation, you don't expect, or whatever you get, you will be happy with it.
Perfect. Yeah. So she's saying disappointed. So she used to feel very disappointed. Then you learn, okay, I lower my expectations. I won't feel as disappointed anymore. Well, when you feel disappointed or when you felt in the past, what did you do? Did you avoid it? Did you, think about it a lot? Like, what did you do with the feeling of disappointment?
It's dependent what it happened.
Mm-hmm.
Like at home, you have to try to fix it.
Yeah, yeah. Mm-hmm.
At work, it was shocking for me that certain people, they just come from 8 to 5, they just wait 5 o'clock to leave, they don't care what happens.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah. It's not worth it. You didn't do much. Yeah, yeah.
You learn that it's not to get mad at people's actions.
Mm-hmm.
That you are not responsible.
Yeah, yeah. Good. Okay. So thank you for sharing. So she said, at home, maybe I can do something about it. I can fix the problem. We can talk about it, etc. So she didn't ignore it, But at work, okay, there's not much to do. It's other people's business. I'm just gonna ignore the feeling maybe and try to move on. Good, really good. Having feelings, or you're bad at having feelings. we just say, okay, can you regulate your feelings? So just like any process, if it's regulated, like a voting process, if it's irregular, there's some cheating going on. If your emotions are regulated, that means you're able to have control over your feelings. So who here has heard, well, no, my feelings are in control. I can't control my feelings. Or who here believes that, maybe even. So a lot of us hear it all the time, right? Like, no, my emotions are too powerful or they're too strong and I can't do anything about it. And so they think that their emotions are in control when it's the opposite way around. So even though it feels like it's out of control, you are in control of your emotions because it's just a state. Just like hunger, right? Just like being tired, you're able to do something about it. Sometimes you just don't know what to do, and that's when it feels like, oh, I can't control them, or it's really hard. And so when we think about emotion regulation, there's ways to regulate that are healthy, and there are ways to do it that are unhealthy. But it still helps you deal with the emotion. It's just not a very healthy way in the long term. But all of us use emotion regulation every day. Even if you don't think about it, it's kind of like an automatic process that happens. But let's say something really annoying happened in your day. How many of us shut down, khalas, the day is finished, I'm gonna go home, I'm gonna sleep all day and do nothing about it? Like none of us really can. We have to do something to keep going that day. Whatever it is, whatever your emotion regulation strategy, we call it, you have one. There's no way you can live life without having one. That's when you really get into trouble. And so when you think about your own regulation skills, it's just like anything in life, basketball, cooking, whatever, the more you do it, the better you get at it. And so if I'm not knowing what I'm doing and I'm just living life, whatever, I don't really know what's working for me. I don't know what to work on, what's not helpful. And so today, inshallah, you'll leave with some ideas. If you are not already a regulated person, you'll leave with some ideas of, okay, how can I regulate when I have a hard time? And so examples of healthy ways includes, okay, maybe the situation you're telling me at work, like it's not worth it. I'm not gonna waste my energy thinking about this thing and being disappointed. So I'm rethinking what's happening. I'm thinking about it in a different way. And that's a really healthy way of dealing with your emotions because you can't really change the situation. You can't change that your coworkers don't care and you're the only one who's putting in the work. It is what it is. But sometimes we have a hard time